Welcome back. Now that I showed you how to create a spell animation, I am going to show you how to create an area of effect spell. So now we're going to go back to our unit events. We're still going to go to our mage, and we're just going to copy and paste this. We're going to rename this. Maybe just double click it. There we go. I'm going to call this Ice Burst. We're going to keep these the same just for demonstration purposes, except we're going to change 2-1 to 2-2. This is her second spell. We're going to go here, change this to 2-2. Okay, what else do we got to change? This is going to be the next variable here. So this 4 will be a 5. This 4 will be a 5. Oop. And we need to change these two triggers to be 2-2. Okay, anything else we need to change? This is going to be cast Ice Burst. Okay, we'll have to create have another animation. I'll change the damage. And call this Icy Burst. Ice Burst. Charge of Ice Burst remaining. Okay, that's a start. Now the next step is what we are going to want is to create an ability that affects an AT. So we'll have one space up, one to the left, one down, and one to the right. Now how are we going to do that? Well, let's go back into the ability. Oops. Back into the ability. And we're just going to create more unit IDs. So if we target something, we want a space to the right, to the left, up, and down. So we want to pull off unit ID 2. Well, we already have X2 and Y2. So now we're going to set the rest of these. Right after we select the unit, we're going to also identify the other spaces. So we're going to say X3. We're going to set it to X2. Y3 set to Y2. We're going to do that for 3 more spaces. So this will be X4. Y4. And all these are getting set to Y2. And then we're going to modify them. You'll see. X5. Y5. and then x6, y6. So now we have 4 more sets of xy coordinates that are all currently equal to the same location that we chose. Now what we want to do is modify them so they will now move to positions, one to the right, one to the left, one above, and one to the bottom. And we're going to do that by adding and subtracting 1 from each direction. So x3, we're going to add 1. Now y4, we're also going to add 1. So x3 moves it 1 to the right, y4 adds it 1 down, because our origin's at the top of the map. x5 is now going to subtract 1, 1x, and x6, or it would be y6, is going to subtract 1. Okay, so now each of those locations, we have an x and y coordinate for each square, left, right, up, and down of the target that we selected. Now, to help us identify that we're actually using an AOE ability, I want to come back to Aseprite and open up our icicle picture. I want to create, let's open a palette and kind of just be anything that's colorful. Well, do they have any default ones? Load default palette, there we go. I want a good red. There's reds. We'll go with that. So now we're going to fill this box as red. And I'm going to delete this. And now we have a square. This is going to be the center tile. And I also want it to show each of the tiles around it. Okay. We can kind of just delete all this. We have our one that we care about. And we're going to save this as enemy target 2, because that's going to be our second largest one. We'll create one that's also target 1. Target 1 will just be for icicle. And let's see if we can make it so we just have 1. We'll save that. So icicle is 1 square. Ice burst will be 5 squares. We're done there. Let's open back up our SRPG Studio. We're going to import those 2 effects. So here we have enemy target 1, and there's enemy target 2. And we will just open up our animations, original effects, and we'll create 2 more. Enemy target 1, and the effect is going to be the same thing, enemy target 1. We'll copy and paste, go to details, enemy, switch this to enemy target 2, and it changed the name already, so we're good. So now we have 2 more animations. This one's cut off, or is it? Maybe it's not. Okay, now let's change the frames on these. No, maybe it's down here. Frame speed will be 30. A half a second. Hopefully that's long enough. Let's try it down here, 30. Okay. Going back into our spell. Where we have icicle down here, I want to actually put this before we make our choice. Oh wait, where's all my X and Y coordinates? Oh, I put it for icicle. Well, we will change that really fast. Oh. I'm going to move this over. I'm going to cut and paste. So cut and paste. Sorry about that, I put it in the wrong location. The other thing I want to do is set unit IDs. Now, how are we going to pick up the unit IDs of these locations? We are still going to go to change variable. I'll change this to unit ID 2. And I am going to set it to a position. We're going to get our information from a position. And we're going to grab the unit ID from this position. But we're going to grab it from the coordinates x3 and y3. Oh, that should be unit ID 3. We're going to do that 4, 5, and 6. So we're just going to change all the numbers here. 4, x4, y4, unit ID 5. Oops. Should be x5 and y5. This is going to be unit ID 6, x6, and y6. y6. Okay, so now we also have the unit IDs at each of these locations. So I just want to show, we'll grab control map position from here, which shows the animation for icicle. But I want it to show enemy target 2. Why doesn't it show? Well, we'll figure that out. I want to show enemy target 2. Now let's run a test. Let's see. Oh, it wasn't showing Ice Burst, so I forgot one more thing. We gotta go to our auto events and set starting abilities. We gotta set 2-2 count to 3, and then also set 2-2 count to 2-2 count, or 2-2 to 2-2 count. Just like we did for icicle. Now it should show up. I hit continue again, as I always do. We'll fight. Now when we select Ice Burst, you can see that we had the squares there. If you didn't see that, we will do it again. Watch. It showed all 5 squares. So you can see where it's going to hit before you actually select cast or not. I'm going to pull out of that. I want to make the animation longer, so let's make it 60 frames. Oops. Double the length. Also do that for enemy target 1. Oops. 60. Okay. Go back to the unit ability. Mage. And I want to show you something first. If I want the damage to hit all 5 squares, one way I could do it is here we have our extensive command. We currently have it as hitting unit ID 2, and the range is 0, so it is only hitting unit ID 2. If we want, we can make this 1, and that will make this damage happen to all 5 locations. Let me show you. This is a very easy way to make a AOE ability. Take them over here. Ice Burst. You can see it chose all those guys. It did the animation, and it's hitting all 5 guys. Now, I'm actually going to create it a different way, because right now I have it as fixed. What if each one of those units has a different resistance? Well, if I just want to change this so it factors in their resistances, I can change this to magical. However, I'm also not going to do that. I want to change it to fixed, because with this ability, I want the center to take a little bit extra damage than the other spaces. So, I'm moving this back to just be 0 range, and I'm going to pull, I'm going to kind of copy all of this and paste it. So this is where we did our damage. Magic, I'm still going to pull from our mage, but unit ID 3 is who I want the resistance for the next one. I want to change this to only do 100% damage, not 175. I still going to have it do fixed damage, but I want to now have it target unit ID 3. We're doing each spot individually, which allows us to have the control over how much damage is done to each spot. Okay, so now that was to unit ID 3. We're going to do 4, 5, and 6. Unit ID 5. Unit ID 5. Unit ID 6. And unit ID 6. Okay, so that takes care of differentiating damage. There's one other thing I want to do. In extract map position, let's say I have 2 units that are separated by 1 space. We currently have it as only targeting enemies. We can't just throw it on the ground. But right here where it says unit only, we're going to uncheck that, which will allow us to throw it on target ground positions. So let's say this guy isn't here, but I want to hit all 4 of these guys. Before, I would not be able to select that center location. But now that I am not only selecting units... Wait, why didn't that work? Did I select the wrong ability? Let me go back and check. Unit events, mage. Did I do that for icicle? Was that what the problem was? Extract map position. Oh, yeah, I did it for icicle. I didn't do it for ice burst. I did it again. All this stuff I did was in icicle, which ends right there. So I'm just going to cut and paste this. Sorry guys, not the cleanest video. Cut. And paste. Hopefully all that works as intended. We're going to go extract map position and get rid of unit only. And let's hope this works. Test play. Or actually, we're playing for real. So I want to hit all 4 of these guys, but there's no enemy in the middle. So now I can target the ground. Oh, that selected her. Oh, I guess because I chose unit ID and not actual tile location. That I put the animation on her. But the damage should still work, I think. That was strange. So yeah, clearly there's bugs. Let's see if we can figure out what went wrong. Since we are selecting the ground, it's not going to go by a unit ID. Oh, and we have scope 1 here. We need to change this to 0, so it's not doing an AOE. And we want this to go by position, so it's going to be X2 and Y2. Because if we select the area that doesn't have a unit, it's not going to pull a unit ID. So that's X2, Y2. X3. Y3. X4. Y4. X5. Y5. X6. Y6. Okay. And we also want our animations. Where's our animations? To do that too. So we're going to specify a target location. X6, X2, Y2. Where's our other one? Icicle. Specify X2, Y2. One last thing is I want to import one of my effects from my other game for this spell. Graphics effects, it's going to be Ice Burst. Just going to copy and paste it into tutorials, graphics, and then effects. And we can import that just like we did for the others. Whoops. Resource graphics, add Ice Burst, and what we had for Icicle. We'll just copy and paste and bring in Ice Burst. And this should finish off our AOE ability. I'm just going to find where Icicle is and change it to Ice Burst. Let's see if it all works. Ice Burst. We showed our squares. We can cancel out of it. Ice Burst. You get an explanation, but I didn't change that. And I will actually cast it. There we go. One more thing. Hopefully they don't kill her. Looks like they might kill her. They killed her. I want to show that our damage was differentiated into the center. So we're going to move one dude right there. And Ice Burst. So it should do extra damage to the center. 12, 7, 7, 7, 7. And I have 2 charges of Ice Burst remaining. And there you have it, an AOE ability with an animation, and you get experience. See you in the next video.